Hello, Harvard Hills Church family and friends. As you know, we have not been meeting in our building or in person for 2 months now. On March 14th, I and the trustees of the church, as well as our deacon, which composes our elder board, met on a Saturday afternoon in the church basement to discuss, at that time, the very new and unknown coronavirus that was spreading through the area. At that point, we had yet to have any cases in our area, and we were trying to decide what we were going to do, as areas that had already been hit had to close things down. We met and we decided that once it came that we probably would suspend services for the time being. And within hours of that meeting, the first confirmed case in the Tri-County area was reported in Woodford County, just a few miles from the church. We had service March 15th. Guest speaker Justin Smith was with us. Was supposed to be the start of our revival, which we had to cancel. And that was the last time that we were together in our building. Jump forward, it is now May 22nd as I'm recording here today, and as this video will be published later this afternoon. And we are 2+ months out of our building. Coronavirus has changed the landscape of not just our country, but our communities, the way that we conduct things, do things, and gather. We have changed the way church looks. We have changed the way that we worship, the way that we gather, to our online services, to our online Bible studies, to our online church, kids' church services. Everything has been completely different. This has been a very difficult time for our church, for our leadership, for me. From being sprung into not just preparing a message every week, but recording that message and producing that message into an online service, to putting together and making sure we had a kids service, to conducting a Bible study on Zoom, and making sure that our website was up to date. All these things were brand new things that I had to tackle, along with the help of some of our church leadership, to make sure that we could still function. But as coronavirus has run its course, and as I believe that we are on the downward trend of this virus, we've begun the discussions to reopen. Last Saturday, me and the 3 trustees met together, and I proposed a reopening plan to them. I know some people have told me that they're a little leery, and I understand. Many of you have reached out and said that you are ready to get back to church, and let me say this, that I am ready more than probably anybody to get back into church, into the building. I understand this, that church is not a building. That the church is more than the building at 109 Hillman Street here in Washington. That you and I are the church, and that we can continue to worship God outside of our building. But there's something that I believe is greatly missing in online, and that is community. Community of the believers, the community of our brothers and sisters in Christ, the ability to see one another, the ability to talk to one another. The few occasions I've had to be able to hold some conversations with some of you have been the highlights of the last 2 months for me, and getting to just talk to the people from the church. Let me say this as your pastor, I miss you. And I am ready to get back to church. But church is going to look different. Church is naturally going to be different because, well, everything's different. And I proposed last Saturday a 4-phased plan to our trustees on reopening the church, of which they approved. And I am now here to deliver to you, to tell you that we have a plan to reopen our building and begin meeting again in person for services. So let me share with you these things. Currently, we would be in phase 0. That means we're not meeting in person, the building is closed, everything is online. Matter of fact, for the time being, we have actually halted all staff there other than the meeting we had last Saturday. I have moved my office hours to home. I'm working from home. I brought my computer back here. We have halted our community service hours. We've halted even our cleaning for a couple weeks. We had halted. And so for a while there was absolutely no one at the building. We had completely closed it down. We are slowly beginning transitioning back into the building. And I'm excited to announce to you this 4-phase plan, and this is phase number 1. Phase 1 will begin May 29th. That is the final Sunday of the month. Now, we are not coming back to church for Sunday morning services just yet. Phase 1 does a couple things. Number 1, we still have Sunday morning service online, but on Sunday night for our life group Bible studies, we will resume meeting for those at the church. Now, there's some restrictions. A lot of restrictions on gathering going on. There is a maximum of 10 people per group. So listen, if you are a normal attender and you want to coming back to these, make sure that you get onto our website and register for these. And I'm going to mention a little bit more about that in a minute. Also, we'll resume both our adult and our children's Bible studies. Let me say to our teens and to our kids, I cannot wait to get back in class with you guys. I've really missed you guys and the study that we were going through and the fun that we have. And I'm really looking forward to our kids, our youth Bible studies on Sunday night. May 29th, we resume Bible study in person, maximum 10 people per group. Now, let me say this. If we are reaching that 10 people, or we simply have people, you reach out to me and you say, hey, I still want to be a part of this Bible study. I want to listen, but I don't necessarily feel comfortable coming back to the building yet. That's fine. We're going to have these set up on Zoom like we've been doing. I'll have a camera set up, tuned in to watch the teaching, so you can just call in, listen, and be a part of the Bible study still that way. Also on May 29th in phase 1, we resume office hours for the church. We resume our normal our cleaning. So Sister Janet will resume her responsibilities. It is going to be very important, the cleaning aspect of our building at this time. We're going to resume our community service hours, and I'm going to move back into the church. I'll move my computer back. And my office hours, which are on Fridays from 10 to 4, will resume at the building starting in phase 1 on May 29th. Phase 2. This is the one that I think that we're all really looking forward to. Phase 2 will begin June 21st, which happens to be Father's Day, and it is in a month from now. Phase 2, we will begin our Sunday morning services again. Now, just as I said with our Bible studies, we still have our online service. So what we normally have, you go to our website and you at harvardhills.churchonline.org and you watch our Sunday morning service. That's still going to be available for anyone who doesn't necessarily feel comfortable coming back, or who can't come, or maybe if you watch and you don't live in the area, whatever it is, we're still going to have our online service. But we will resume meeting in person June 21st. Now let me say this. It is a maximum of 20 people per service, and we are running multiple services on Sunday morning. There's going to be some gathering limits and some social distance guidelines that we're going to have to follow. We have a fairly small auditorium as it is, and so we have to limit the amount of seating that we can have, blocking off every other pew, maintaining 6 feet between pews. And so we have a maximum of 20 people. Now the problem is we can run from anywhere from 20 to 35, 40 people on special Sundays, but we normally run anywhere from 25 to 30 people. And so this creates a bit of a problem for us. Not only is it a max of 20 people, but we have to make sure that we have 6 feet between each family. And that means really, even if you're only a family of 4 and say we can get 6 in a pew, your 4 is going to take up our entire pew. So we have 2 people, single people who want to come. They take up an entire pew because why? There needs to be 6 feet between them, between each family. And so while we have a max of 20, it could theoretically be more like 15 people that we can actually fit into the pews. This makes it difficult, but I think we can work with this. As I mentioned before, signing up, brand new thing, I know. But starting on Monday morning, okay? So Memorial Day, I will have on our website, similar to what our Christmas concert was, tickets that you can reserve for each service. Now here's the deal. As of right now, we have a 9 a.m. service and a 10:30 a.m. service planned. Sunday school has been canceled for the time being, probably for the remainder of the summer. And we have 2 Sunday morning services, identical, same song, same message, for 45 minutes in length, giving us enough time to empty the building, clean everything out, and set back up again. But what I'm going to need you to do, if you want to begin attending services again, is to go to the website each week, or if you want to do multiple weeks, that's fine. I'm probably going to do it by month. So on Monday, I'll have all of June up, and then come June 1st, I'll have all of July up, and we'll go from there. You'll need to reserve for your family what service you want to come to. And that way I know how many people we can get into each service. Make sure that we distance each person. We'll assign your seat, so when you show up on Sunday morning, I or somebody will be there at the door to tell you where to sit. I know this is going to be weird and different, but this is the new normal. We'll have hand sanitizer and masks available for anybody who wants them. I say this, as much as I want to get back in church, the most important thing to me is the health and safety of the people at our church. It was the leading reason that I canceled our in-person services to begin with. Now let me say this, having limited services and having 2 services right now, I don't know how many of you will want to come back. But if we fill up both services, I may be wrong. Everyone may be ready to come back. You may have friends and family come back. And I think it would be amazing if we could pack out and sell out both services with tickets completely reserved. If we fill both services, I am willing and prepared to add a 3rd service. Either that be before or after the first 2, or Saturday evening service, if that works better for anyone else. I want to make sure that absolutely everybody who wants to come to church in person can come to church in person beginning June 21st. If that means 3, 4 services even, that's what it is. But right now we have 2 services planned. And let me say this, it is very important you register online which service you want. One thing that I will hate to have to do is for you to drive all the way to church and me have to tell you that we're full and tell you have to come back to the next service. Make sure you register online so that we know you're coming and we know there's room. And if you have friends coming, make sure they register online as well. Phase 2 continues with our Bible studies in person. We upgrade, still 10 people per group, and our staff hours are continuing. Phase 3, which we are unsure when that will take place. The church leadership, our elder board, will make that decision when the time comes based upon our local government's leadership. That will simply allow us to increase to 30 people per service, adding an extra row of seating. This will allow us to increase our Bible studies to 15 people per group, and continuing our staff hours. And phase 4, finally, is our complete reopening, which we will reopen with no gathering limitations, and hopefully allowing everyone back into service together. Let me say this. We are encouraging the elderly and those with weak immune systems to stay home. But that's a decision that you're going to have to make. If you want to come to church, we want you here. And so, I say this. June 21st, we will begin meeting again in person at our building. But it's going to be a maximum of 20 people per service, and we're going to need you to register online to get your seat at the building. I'm really excited about church. and I cannot wait to see you again. I know this is going to be different. I know this is going to take some adjusting to get used to, but I think that we can overcome that and make the best of this as far as the new normal for church. Let me give you a couple other things. All of this information that I've said today will be posted on all of our social media later this evening, and this video will still be on here to come back and watch later. We have had to cancel all summer activities. I know in the month of June we had an outdoor family movie night planned. We had VBS in July and youth camp in August, all of which have been canceled. We are looking forward to our fall events and hoping that we can have them, but at this time all summer events have been canceled. I really do look forward to seeing everyone again, and if you have any questions, know that you can always contact the church. You can reach me by my email, which is pastorm.hamilton@yahoo.com. You can reach the church at harvardhillsocial@gmail.com. And you can always message our Facebook or Instagram accounts, and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. I hope that everybody's doing well. I hope that everybody is safe. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. Bible study resuming May 29th. But Sunday morning service is resuming June 21st. You can find the full 4-phase plan on our website at harvardhills.nucleus.church. And you will find this video, as I said, here on Facebook and on YouTube. And I do hope you have a great evening. And I do hope that you'll continue to pray for me and the leadership here at Harvard Hills. Thank you and God bless. And I cannot wait to see you all again.